if you are 304 Clothing, pay attention. If you are a eCom store owner, founder, CEO, also pay attention because you can learn from all of these videos. And first of all, we're starting with 304 Clothing. Let's reload, as you can see. And one thing, so what I do with brands that I'd like to work with is I do an audit, and then I send the results, or rather I send an email to the owners to ask them, hey, would you like to see the results? And most of the time it's crickets, okay? You don't hear anything back. And so it's like, okay, I mean, I don't want to say it's been a waste of time to do that, because the more I do these, the more I learn about all the crap, the foibles of people who are not really specialized in this, because that's the thing, right? They have to look after fulfillment, they have to look after customer service, they have to look after all these other things, staff and whatnot. So they are not on top, and they can never be on top of what we know as, for example, for me, direct response copywriter and a email deliverability expert, okay, where I work to make sure that your domain reputation and your email sending reputation stays in tip-top shape, okay? And if you're running a team of, 10, 20, 50 people, that's not going to be your top priority. And this is what someone like myself does every single day. Okay, and we work on this every single day to be better every single day. So, okay, so the first thing that I like to do when I enter a website that I'd like to work with is I do an audit of the website and also of key parts of the selling process, like their email stuff. Okay, so 304, as you can see above the fold, is this very tiny button over there. I mean, this could literally be like right here, massive, big. And why is the women below? But we're not going to go into the design choices. I could put my graphic designer's hat on and say perhaps we should split it in half and put the men here and the women there. But okay, let's skip that. And so what I do is first of all, by the way, I've done 40-minute video of this, and there was no selection of not even my Mac microphone or this microphone. So I'm re-recording it, but it's not going to take 40 minutes because I'm going to zip through that now. So my thoughts should all be much more streamlined. And so, who am I? I'm Billy Champion. I am a direct response copywriter and deliverability expert, which means I am focused on not only getting your offers seen by the customer, but also that they are really good and they get those customers to buy, because what the customers are buying is good for them. And so it is my duty to make sure that they buy a lot of it. Okay. And anyway, of course, I do any kind of writing because I'm a salesman, even though some people who are in copywriting, they think that's a horrible thing to say. Everyone is a salesman, okay? Your child wants something and they go into selling mode, okay? But, of course, we're not talking about sleazy and car salesmen. Well, there are some really good car salespeople, but the general thing. So anyway, I don't subscribe to that kind of thinking, or in terms of like selling. So for me, selling is selling, direct mail, sending emails, website copy, like, summer styles on tap. That's website copy, even though it literally says nothing. But again, this is not brand new Paradise Tea. Like, that says nothing. Yeah, so I'm not going to be reviewing your copy 304 Clothing. You can breathe a sigh of whatnot. Okay, so what I do is I go and I subscribe. Like, as you can see, I subscribed on the 29th of August, and I just walk through things that to make sure these guys are taking care of the bare bones. And I was on and on about how they do not have a proper welcome sequence, how they had, like, for example, inconsistencies like slogan T, and then it's like slogan T here. Okay, so like I was saying, for example, in your welcome sequence, you could, first of all, get to know the customer and, of course, get them to know 3 or 4 clothing. And one of the stuff that I said is your story, like how it all started. I remembered it that they had some guy, that they made some piece of clothing, hung it about their apartment. And by the way, I read that on the 29th, and I still remember it, okay? And it's the 27th or so of September, a month later, or about that, and I still remember it, okay? And is there anything about that in your welcome series? They don't have a welcome series, okay? They don't have a welcome series of emails, which will basically get the new subscriber, okay? Instead of start sending them all these sales, buy this, freaking buy this, you don't send them any of this daily broadcast or whatever emails that you send, okay? You put them through each of your subscriber. You put through, okay? And if they are buying, then you will do a abandoned cart sequence. So if they went to buy but they didn't finish checkout, then you would also write a much better abandoned cart sequence, not this creepy stuff like we saw you looking, we've kept all your items safe for you, and then I would hate for you to miss out, and then all this. Yeah, just don't do this, guys, okay? And yes, they are making 2 to 5 million annually, but I believe they could be making easily 10 plus million. Again, that's just a random, they could probably be making a whole lot more, but then it's, are they able to fulfill that number of, that vast, that's like twice their top end. Like on SimilarWeb, it says they're making 2 to 5 million. I don't have information to say exactly how much they're making, but they could easily be making more than that because, so much needs to be fixed about this website. And one thing that these guys are doing wonderful that I love is lifetime returns. Okay, I love that because I know that gives my customer, even though it's their customer, I take their customer as my customer. I care about their customer more. I care about your customer more than you probably care about them. Okay? And guess what? When people feel cared for, okay, they will buy from you. When people feel understood, they will buy from you. But most of these guys, even though they're making so much money, they still are not covering the fundamentals like, let me get to know you and you get to know us. Anyway, so what I do is I do an audit of the website, okay? And then I basically walk through what a customer would experience when they're shopping from you. And I make a note of all of this. And it's only then that I reach out and say, hey, I can help you. And of course, I reached out to 3 or 4, and these guys, of course, they didn't get back to me, which is fine. So instead of saying that was all waste, I decided, let's start making these videos for you if you are a eCom brand owner, eCom store owner, if you are a eCom founder or CEO or CMO. You can learn from these videos, okay? And not do all the stuff that they're doing wrong, and of course, be inspired to follow all the stuff they're doing right. For example, giving your customers 180 days return, lifetime return, okay? Most people will think that a lot of people will take advantage of them and just wear their stuff and then return it and get their money back. The thing is that it's completely the opposite is the reality of it. The longer you give people, okay? So I can tell that these guys, in terms of their return rates, I don't even have to know or see the numbers. I can tell that their return rates, especially if they could compare before they did this, if they did do that, or maybe they started this with the lifetime returns, if they could compare before and after they did the lifetime returns, they would have seen that their returns rate will probably be in the like less than 1% to like 1% or 2% or 3%, certainly less than for this space, okay? Because when you offer a lifetime returns, you say, We believe in what we sell, and we know you're going to love it. And if you don't love it, then there is no risk to you because you can just return it and get your money back. And so people have more peace of mind. And when people have peace of mind and they are relaxed and they're comfortable, they buy. Okay, because they don't have to say, oh, I only have 30 days to make sure that, oh, I hit that return window. Which is why when people like Shopify or other people that copy them blindly of their offer of 14 days trial, I'm like, why aren't you giving away 3 months? Okay, 3 months, because that gives someone at least, by the way, 3 months, or at the very least a whole month. I'll say at least 2 months, because what is your cost of having that customer stay? Very, very minimal, because this is software, this is SaaS. Okay, so if you give people enough time, for example, Shopify, instead of your 14 days BS. By the way, like when I did Shopify a while ago in like 2019, the reason why is because of COVID and stuff. They gave 3 months. That's the reason. That was one of the main reasons, because I knew I would have time to build my store out very nicely, as opposed to like rushing through it for like, because you need time to build everything out, make sure everything works, and you can't do that not really well properly. It depends on what store you're building. If it's a one product store, then fine. But if you've got an inventory, you've got to connect to all these other things, then 14 days is just stupidly not enough. But we're not here talking about Shopify. We're talking about 304 clothing. So just a little bit on that. So if you sell SaaS, give people 30 days at least. I will say 3 months, right? Because think about it. What's your CAC? If they've signed on and they've spent 3 months on your platform, do you think they would have had the time to like set things up and then stay? Because they're not going to spend all that time building their store only to jump ship when your 3 months is over, right? They're going to stay. So yes, it takes a little bit longer for you to start getting the money, but you are a software company. You don't really have to worry about cost, okay? Whether you have 1 million customers, well, apart from the traffic and stuff, the difference in how much the cost is going to be. Yeah, so again, that's just a little side note for people that offer SaaS. So 304. So what I like to do, like I said, is do an audit of the website. Generally, I try to avoid looking at the copy, even the copy in the email, because that tends to send me to be even more harsh with these audits, because people just don't know how to write copy. Did you hear the payday sale ends soon? Like, anyway, but again, that's what I do all day, every day. It's my specialty, and the reason why I also do email deliverability is because I can write the best selling copy ever, but if it's not being delivered, right? For example, look at this, if I remember correctly, out of 17, it was 17, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 17, right? Emails that I've received from 304 since the 29th of August. You can see that only 6 lands in my inbox of this account, okay? Only 6, which means 11 lands almost like, let's see, 66% of your emails land in promotions, okay? Which means your open rates are going to keep going down, 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 down. Why? I did not mention this when I was doing the previous video. Did it just escape me again? It's like I didn't mention it and then it's gone. Okay, so the reason why you are going into that, there we go, it's back. Woo, we got it. It's segmentation. I can tell that you are not segmenting your list at all, that you're sending all this random stuff to someone, whether they're subscribed to whether they've been around, they know what you are on about, which of course I don't, because you've not walked me through. Now, a welcome series can get them to understand you. You can get to understand them because you can ask them questions in that series, by the way. Another thing, of course, what you can do is you can do a little quiz so you understand them. And, oh goodness, excuse me. Now, one thing, as you can see, they bury their, so they don't have a pop up at all. And they bury this. And another thing, 3 or 4, this is something your designers, your website designers should fix. If I choose that by mistake and I go back to choose something else, I can't do it. Okay? I have to get rid of this and then I'll be able to do it again. Okay? So that's just a annoying little thing there. And it's both. So wait, there's another one. There's another. Oh, right. And then there's a drop down one. Right. So you've got this one, right? And then you've got this. So you think, well, at least this is much better, right? Because it's a drop down. But then it's the same bloody thing. You click on that by mistake and you try to change it. You can't. You have to do this. Like, come on. I mean, who is designing your website? How do they not know how to do a drop down properly? It's insane. Anyway, so that was another annoying thing that I wanted to point out. 3 or 4 in terms of like collecting. So first of all, they're burying their email collection down here, and they're getting an average of 30K visitors every month. And so if that's an average of 1K, and they actually had a pop-up, and by the way, it doesn't have to be a pop-up that just come up while I'm trying to read this. And so this is how you do pop-ups right, okay? In the not annoying way. Someone gets to your website and they immediately see the pop-up is there, okay? That's how you do a pop-up. Or it just casually rolls in after like 2 seconds because they're not set on doing anything yet, right? Or they might just be scrolling and then it pops there or whatever, right? Now, and so that's how you do pop-ups right, as opposed to I'm in the middle of something, reading something, or looking at this photo, and then 30 seconds later it just bloody pops up there. That's annoying, okay? So you want to do it right. It's when either set it up when someone gets on your website and immediately it's in front of them, okay? Because they are a new visitor. You're not going to be showing people who've already signed up to your newsletter or your email. You're not going to show them that because you're not going to do that because then that's silly. That's annoying. Okay, so either make sure it's already there or here, or maybe after a second or two, it rolls in there or rolls in there, or it might just pop up right there, like pop up lock. No, or it could just like, it doesn't have to just be there. It can just, when you enter the website, it's right down here or right down here, or if it's mobile, it's right down here. Okay, and mobile, of course, you want to put it in the center. And then if they don't want that, they can just click off it and continue browsing, and that's it. And don't keep making it pop up because, again, you're not trying to annoy the people that visit your website, okay? You want them to be relaxed. You want them to be exploratory. You want them to have fun looking at your website. Okay, so you don't have pop-ups, so you're not actively collecting emails or telephone numbers, and you had a 30% discounting sale a while ago. So I thought that was a lifetime thing, but it's not. And okay, and I checked your welcome sequence, of course, lackluster, not very good at all. Your welcome sequence should be like 4 to sometimes 20 plus, and that welcome sequence is what every single subscriber that signs up into your email list goes through that, and you put on hold until they've gone through that welcome sequence, all of these salesy emails, okay? Because they don't know what slogan T is, something you'd explain in the welcome sequence. They don't know what mystery boxes are, something you can mention in there. They don't know what any of this is, something you can again work into yours. So that means your welcome sequence might be like 8 plus emails that you send, not every single day, maybe stagger it every other day, skipping Sunday, for example, and only after they've gone through it, they understand your business, they understand that you have a freaking app, okay, not 40 for 40 on app now, like, okay, I didn't know you had a freaking app. So that's something like you could say in your welcome sequence, one of the emails could be, we do flash sales, and people will be like, huh, on our app. And they'll be like, well, you don't even have to tell them to go download it, because if they want to be getting those like 40% off, and again, and this is not just 3or 4 clothing, most e-com brands, they don't know anything about selling, okay? They don't know how to sell, okay? And I mean how to sell proper way, not the hard sales, not the sleazy sales, not that kind of thing, like sell properly. And how do you sell properly? Okay, at first you understand what the customer wants to buy. You're not selling. Your customer is not on your website because you have things there for sale. They are on your website because they want something to buy. And that something might be your product. They're trying to achieve something, okay? And, geez, I'm not going to be here trying to teach you how to sell, but you have to come from it from that perspective as opposed to what most e-com brands do, even if you're doing 2 to 5 million, like 3or 4 clothing, is they're like, buy this, buy this, buy this. Oh, sales ending soon. Like, what the hell, people? Okay, so just from looking at these emails alone, I can tell that they can be making so much more money, especially with the lifetime returns. Okay, because usually that's the thing, right? People are afraid of buying and making a mistake. Okay, and if you have a lifetime returns, that means they don't have to fear making a mistake because they can just send it back and get their money back, minus the time and energy it's taken for them. So most people don't really factor that in, that someone returning your stuff, that's time out of their day, okay, that they could be spending with their family and people they love. So it's not just about return the stuff, you have to factor in that people are wasting time to go through buying something that sucks, okay? They're wasting time buying something from you that is not very good, and they first of all have to think about, entering their details and waiting to get the stuff, and then they find it's bad, and even though they get 100% of their money back, they still have wasted quite a bit of their life, okay? So it's not just about returns, it's about being aware that you should be appreciative of people spending time on your website. Okay, you should be very freaking grateful that. But okay, I think I'll stop the lashings on 3or 4. But that was not on 3or 4. This was on just general. If you are a e-com brand, store owner, CEO, CMO, whatever. Okay, you have to think that people are spending their lives when they're browsing your website. Okay, it's not just buying stuff. Okay, so like I say, what I do is I check and audit the website and just lightly audit the email. And I walk through what a customer would experience by putting things in your cart and seeing the process. Okay, and I talk about that when I do talk to you. If you are clever enough to heed my email that I send you, which is, by the way, at billychampion.com. So it'll be hey@billychampion.com. So if you look for those emails and you don't see them, it will be in your inbox somewhere, because I don't send random emails to people. If I'm reaching out to you, it's because 1, I'd like to work with you, and 2, I see so much improvement that you can make that will allow for profit. And another thing that I like to mention is 30%. Why? Why are you doing a payday sale? Okay, it's called, because a lot of people don't know this, again, it's reason why advertising. Okay, you are, for example, you could say, well, we have a shipment coming in the next few days. Okay, limited availability, right? So that's a little bit of, they don't really have time to think too much about this. And because we want to make some space, okay, you have to tell people why you're giving them 50% off. Because how many people ignore 50% off sales? Because There's no reason why to it. And also, most of the time, they're just trying to get rid of stuff. Okay? So you have to tell them, right, if you are just trying to get rid of stuff, say, yeah, that is what we're trying to do, because most e-com owners think people are stupid. People are not stupid, okay? They have to be getting value from your emails, okay? Not just buy this, buy this, buy this. It's weekly slogan, bloody tea. It drop every bloody Thursday. By the way, slogan tea is something you can address in your welcome. It's not, by the way, your welcome email series is not to sell people. It's to get them to understand all what these things mean. And even then, it's just value, 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 value. Your story, okay? And all of that. Because you're not going to force people to buy. People buy when they want to buy. But you can create that buying environment, which is relaxed, and you understand them, and you know what they want. There is nothing here that says, so, what do you like about 3 or 4 clothing? Like, think about it. It's like email is one of the best things, because you could literally send a little survey, which, by the way, you can have on your site as well, so they can sort of self-segment themselves into like what they are after. And you can just send them an email like, tell me what you like about our brand and what brought you to our site and whatnot. And people will tell you. Okay, and of course tell them why you are asking them that. It's because you want to understand them so that you can serve them better. Okay, why do you think people shop in very, very expensive boutique places? The service. Okay, they go there because they know they are going to feel good. They are going to be taken care of. They're going to be given tea, champagne. They are going to be walked through. For example, you're going to buy an art piece. Okay, you have it displayed outside, but a good salesperson would take that art piece, take it to that special room with beautiful floral arrangements, and put it in that spot where it's been lit perfectly. Okay, they bring in the champagne and they say, now look at it. This is what it's going to look like. And we can even arrange for this same lighting to be at your beautiful apartment or whatever, right? They have to get into that space. They have to be relaxed. They have to see the result, okay? But not most ecom people, or the what do you call them? Productized services agencies that they basically pay money to basically fire out all this buy email that no one, as you can see, no one cares about. Because when people don't open your emails, they go into promotions, and soon they will start going into spam. Okay, I'm not sure if they're in spam. And your email reputation, your domain reputation will begin to dwindle. Now, what you guys don't have is DMAC, okay? Because I've checked. You don't have. You have your DKIM. You have your SPS, SPF. But I believe if you were to add DMAC, that should help. But again, it might be your issue for landing in promotions. It's because, well, all you're doing is promoting and you're not creating any value. Okay. So that's a little beating of 3 or 4 clothing and your random promo-focused emails and no value or understanding of the customer. But again, let's leave that, because that's more into the copywriting and trying to write copy that it's, emails that are going to be opened and enjoyed by your customers, because you're not always trying to beat them over the head with sale, sale, sale. Okay? Jesus. So, discount, it's gone, but I'm guessing if you sign up to the newsletter, they would give you like 10% off. By the way, there's a better way, I mentioned this in my previous video, to discounting, and that customers appreciate and they buy even more. Imagine that. You give them 50% off they didn't buy, and this other way, which is reserved for my clients, they buy and they love you even more, because discounting is just what everyone does. Everyone's been indoctrinated, I guess, to to expect discounts. And so when you don't give it to them, they're like, maybe this is worth whatnot, right? Because discounting, especially without a bloody reason, just tells people that, well, obviously, whatever you are charging them is too much, and you're making so much money that you can just willy-nilly get 30% off your profit, by the way. 30% off your profit, because you're making so much profit that you can give 30% with no freaking reason whatsoever and not even think about it, because you're making so much money. And so they know that the price that you are charging them is too much. That is why you probably feel a bit guilty. That's why you can just give 50% off or 30% off. But again, that's going to the psychology of this stuff. But again, you don't have to be good at this. This is what people like myself, direct response copywriters, are in day out. We're all about understanding people, okay? And one of my natural instinctual instincts, I guess, is social intelligence, okay? I've just from a very young age understood people from a very young age. And now, of course, with all the books and the seminars, at the moment I'm being tutored or mentored by Gary Benz-Wenger. I'm trying to cram all his 40 plus years direct response, writing $1 million controls experience. So yeah, I'm doing that at the moment. That's what I'm doing. So if you are a direct response copywriter as well and you're listening to this, just know you are no competition, okay? Because yeah, I bet you've never heard of Lee Boyan or all these other, or Hopkins or Lasker or even the Dan Kennedys of the world. It's yeah. So for me, it's all about learning from the best, because I want to do better than they did. And so apart from what I know and my understanding and common sense, I have to understand what they learned. And oh, Gary Benz-Wenger, thank you for your amazing secrets that you finally shared, because you're no longer practicing copywriting. Okay, I mean, Gary's not going to watch this. So back to this. So do they have a welcome sequence? No. Do they have a browser abandonment? No. By the way, they're using Klaviyo, so they can turn all of these things on. They can literally just switch a button on and start collecting emails immediately. Okay, so the amount of money these guys have left on the table, I do not like it. Okay, so abandoned cart. Yes, they do have abandoned cart. As you can see, the creepy messages. We saw you looking. We've kept all your items safe for you. I would hate for you to... this is not how you do abandoned cart. What if I'm having issues checking out? Okay, then there is nothing to address that. Like, hey, we noticed that you didn't finish your checkout. Was there anything wrong? You know, because most people, what they do, most eCom brand owners, what they do is they immediately say, here is 10% off. And if I was having issues, do you think that's going to piss me off? Because I'm trying to check out, your checkout's not working, and you're sending me a discount. I don't want a bloody discount. I want to check out. And of course, they don't do that, because that's not how most people do this, because they're not very good at it. Yet they're doing 2 to 5 million a year, which is crazy, which means they can do even more when they do things right. Okay, so they have traffic, like I said, about 30K every month. So even if it's like just 10 new emails, or 10% of those people are entering their emails, that's 3K emails. And if we take it the lowest, that each email is worth to you $1, that's extra 3K every month. But usually, like they say, when you spend $1 on email marketing, you can get 30, 34, 37, sometimes way more than that, right? Because that's the thing. That is why it's so important to segment your list, because when you're sending all this to everyone, the people that buy from you are going to be like, all you care about is sales. And the people that don't buy from you probably not going to buy from you anyway. So that means you are sullying the waters of the people that buy from you, as opposed to segmenting. And, because most e-com brands, they treat every single customer the same. They send the same emails to everyone. That is one way to over time just degrade your open rates, your money making ability when it comes to email marketing. And what you want to do is, because it costs the same to acquire a very good customer, which could literally be comparable. For example, one of these customers could buy $10 from you or £10 from you, and your best customer, which cost the same to acquire, could buy from you £1,000 or $1,000. Okay, so are you going to treat your $10 customer the same as you treat your whales customers, your $1,000 customers? No. But when you write emails and send emails like this is what you're doing. And guess what? You're going to drive those $1,000 customers away to your competition, okay? Because there is no segmentation. But anyway, that's going too deep, and I don't want to do that. I just want to go face value. What's the customer experiencing when they get on your site and try to check out? Okay, so abandoned cart, lackluster, and so needs to be rewritten and a different kind of automation sequence built. Same for, like I said, your welcome sequence. And so even though they're making 2 to 5 million every year, they can definitely make a lot more than that. Okay, and delivery, it's 2 to 4 days. Okay, unless they've changed something, but that's what it is. 2 to 4 days, and they do not have obviously a subscription service, which might be what this mystery box thing is. I'm not sure. Again, that could be addressed in one email of the welcome sequence. And so let's see. There are so many pages. Another thing that I went through is too many pages. Okay, they just need to do. If you're in eCom, okay, you want, when someone clicks checkout, ideally you want they go to one page. Okay, because when someone clicks, especially if you give them the option to continue shopping or checkout, if they don't click continue shopping and they click checkout, it means they want to check out. So what does that mean? It means you don't take them to a bloody page that says review your order or review the items or whatever, because then they have to click to continue to the checkout. Just ideally, especially if you have the options of continue shopping or checkout, then what do? You have a single page. When they click checkout, they immediately go. So this is the ideal. They immediately go to a page that they can enter all their details, and you don't even ask them to review, okay? Because all they're going to do after that is click pay now or complete order, right? So they're not going to really do anything. So that is why, especially on this single page checkout, you would have things like in the background, make sure you are in real time, I guess, checking to make sure, for example, the email that you've entered will actually work. So again, this is ideal, right? So this is obviously the development, the back-end side of things. You make sure that the email that they just entered, you do a verification to make sure that that email is actually correct. And if it is not, then when they click to say pay now, then again, this is a developer's thing, it's a back-end thing, and then you won't let them obviously do a checkout. You would then, when they press checkout, because there is error in the email that they entered, then you can even say on the dialog next to the email field, again, this is a back-end thing. It might cost a bit to do, but it just makes things so much smoother because you are in real time checking to make sure everything that they've entered is correct. So then they don't have to think about it, okay? And now all they do is once all of that's done, they just click pay now. Boom, done. Okay? And now, apart from the receipt, you want to send, like, for example, when I was setting up my Shopify in 2019, is you send them, what's next, okay? Because most of the time, someone can spend like so much money and all they get is, okay, we've received your order. That's it. Not email that's going to say, well, for example, if this is what they're going to be using, just giving them some resources and just so that they are excited and waiting for this stuff, right? But most ecom brands, they don't think of that. They only think of taking the money and that's it. And it's just such a waste, especially when you know they can be making money and have happier customers. Okay, so it's not just about making the money, like making profit, making you profit. It's about having happier customers. And when you do all these things, which is a lot, which is why you hire someone like myself, then you can focus on what you do best, which will be fulfillment and making sure the customer gets exactly what they get, what they bought and all of that. Okay, and so, like I said, the lifetime returns is great. Okay, it's great. So I love that. Apart from that, there is, of course, you need to work on your emails not landing in the promo tab, because not many people go into their promotions or newsletter tab, and that is where most ecom brands go, because most ecom brands are focused on just selling. And when you are focused on just selling, well, you don't really sell much, because you're not focused on understanding that people buy because they want to buy. And do people like being sold to? Of course they love being sold to, but only when you understand what they want, okay? Because you're not trying to sell something. Someone just bought a brand new car and now you're trying to sell them another car. That's stupid. Why? Because you don't understand that they've just gotten a car. And so the only way you can know that they've just got a car is if you understand them and you know where they're coming from and you know what they want. Okay? You know they don't want another car because you speak to them. Most ecom brands, the way they market is just one way, okay? And you need to do two-way marketing. In your welcome sequence, for example, you need to include you need to include asking them about them, because who is going to understand your customer more than your customer? Okay, and of course I also, I've opened this before, obviously, like I said, because I made a video, but if you see, this is what it looks like. So your emails are obviously not being delivered properly. If someone doesn't click this, which most people have to do, then this is what you get. So you need to do HTML emails. You need to work with your designer. I can put my graphic designer hat on, which I'm very good at designing emails as well, because it's, oh goodness. So, you need to design emails that are going to look great whether someone clicks this or they don't, because look, this is what it looks like, and that's bad. Okay, so this is 304 Clothing. This has been Billy Champion doing an audit of your website, general, and the checkout process, and also your emails, like where are they going? Okay, I'm not sure if you've got some in spam, but like these are the stuff that's in spam. And okay, so wait, go back. Oh no. No, okay, so 3 or 4. Okay, we're back here. Exclude. Okay, cool. All right. So that is it for 304, and I'm going to put this on and move on to the next audit and brand. As you can see, you saw some that are in spam at the moment, and we'll go from there. And I hope, if you are 304, that you've gotten a lot of value from this, and if nothing else, do a proper welcoming sequence, okay? And just go back and listen to the whole thing again if you want. And just it's like what should be in there, like explaining all these, your brand story, like that thing that you hide in your about us. Figure out a way to get this stuff, because I remember this story, right? And I only read about it then, right? Like how it actually came to be. That was funny. How the guy stole your stuff and then wore it the next day, right? That's quite funny. Find a way to get that into your welcome sequence. And your welcome sequence, again, it's not about selling, okay? Quit trying to sell when you're trying to get them to understand you and you understanding them, okay? You can even send them a quick survey. So, because think about it, if someone says, hey, I'm trying to understand you so I can serve you better, do you think I'm going to be inclined to actually respond and say, well, this is what I like, this is what I'm looking for with a brand like you, like yours? Then you have a way to market to them, because you're like, you said you wanted this, right? Well, there you go. They're like, oh, thank you, right? Because you understand where they're coming from. You understand that they're buying because they want to buy something, not because you have that thing to sell. So I will stop now. And this has been Billy Champion. You can reach me at this like hey at billychampion.com. And it's Billy as in Billy. Okay? Champion.com. And if you want me to help you with your email marketing or email deliverability, right? Like if you're going to spam, I can help you come out of spam. Now, the thing is, getting out of spam takes like a little bit of time, okay? Like 3-6 months. And we have to do things every single month to get to that point, okay? So if you're trying to get out of spam, it'll probably be a long, because once you start going into spam, for example, if you're using Klaviyo, they're going to kick you off if your emails are going into spam, because especially if you're using their IP to send, because you're just damaging their reputation, of which they have a huge positive reputation. Because when you are an ESP, you have a lot of goodwill, okay, and to uphold that goodwill means they're gonna have to kick you off when most of your emails are going into promotions, or the latest, the graveyard is spam or junk folder. So if you want help with that, if you want help with writing emails that are going to be opened, not salesy like these, if you want proper automation sequences that's going to take your customer through a sequence before you start sending them, before they start getting these emails that you're sending to, well, this seems like everyone, then make sure to reach out and I can help you with that, because when it comes to this stuff, I leave it day in, day out. I learn from the best and will continue to learn from the best, because this is what I love to do, and I love to make you profit. I love to save you from giving 30% of your profit especially without saying why, okay? Because there is a better way, and look at that, 40%. How much money are you guys making for these? Because, if you're giving away 40% of £300, think about it. Do you think if you're giving, say somebody's buying that, oh no, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. Because I'm saving that for my clients. It's not for you. You've got a lot of value from this. I was literally going to go into how you can not only save that 30%, but also have happier customers. How is that possible? Because there is a better way. Anyway, thanks for listening, and join me next time when I do an audit and a walkthrough of someone else's eCom account, especially if I've done the work and they've not got back to me. And it's for you as an eCom brand owner or CEO or founder to learn from this and don't do those mistakes. So if you are, correct them for free, right? This could be worth hundreds of thousands of pounds to you. But hey, if you want to work with someone so you don't have to think of it because you don't have time and because you can't write emails to save your life, then we or I am here to help you. So, for now, it is see you later.